Still hate that you're a Baltimore Oriole fan, but that's another thing. We're recording. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, now joined by Matt Stepp, editor of Dave Campbell's. This is your 8th year, isn't it? 26th, 7th year.
Seventh football season with Dave Campbell's, being their high school football insider. It's a great, Dave Campbell's is a great brand, and it's an honor to work for them and keep on the legacy of Mr. Campbell and put out a great product. So we all love high school football and high school athletics.
Well, and you and I, all of us that work in this field, we grew up reading Dave Campbell's. And I want to give credit to you, and I've told you this in person, when we were working together at other sites, one of our frustrations was the lower schools had started kind of skimming out on the notes. And I think that y'all have done a good job since you've got on board of reconnecting with them. And also I think it helps we have younger coaches who are electronic savvy. You and I in the early 2000s had to deal with coaches that didn't even know what email were. But I think that y'all's rededication to the 4A below it really kicked the magazine off into a new level.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a high school football weirdo. I go to some weird games and different games and things like that. And I think part of that is given that, high school football in a 6-man school or a 1A or 2A or 3A, it's just as important as an Allen or North Shore or Westlake. It's just in some aspects more important.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure, obviously we have space limitations. We can't make a 700-page magazine, that kind of thing, but we try to really be informative and give the small schools their due and try to highlight the great things going on in those small towns.
Now, y'all announced a really big thing right before convention, and I think it's something that it's one of those that once you announce it, everybody was like, oh yeah, why hasn't that been done before? But y'all are basically creating a red zone style channel on Friday nights to where if you're a fan and you're not necessarily a fan of a town, but you just love the sport, you can tune in on this and you can check out games from all over the state each Friday night.
Yeah, so it's Texas football tonight. Our producers at Texan Live, Ashley Pickle and Mallory Hartley, done a great job working with the University of North Texas. It's a win-win in North Texas. Those students get some real-world experience and really get a chance to get a nice resume builder and work with their first, they got state-of-the-art equipment. I mean, I think North Texas spent like $1 million on their facilities and their media relations and all that good stuff. So it's a win-win for us, a win-win for them. Their students get real-world experience, get a chance to maybe morph into paid jobs, and we get a chance to highlight a lot of great high school football. So it'll be a learning curve for us. It's the first year we're doing it, and we'll get better as the season goes along, and I'm excited to see it. I think it's something that's been needed, and I think we can do a great job at it.
Way back in 2001, when you were at 3A Down Low, and that's where you and I met, and we started, you and Dick started doing these, we called them web radio. We didn't even know what to call them at the time.
Radio. We just call them radio shows.
Yeah, radio shows. This was your dream, and you've reached your dream. But the thing is you haven't just stopped there. You are continuing to expand the talents and what y'all are doing at Dave Campbell's. And y'all, y'all have always been called Texas football. And in the early 2000s, it just kind of slipped a little bit. But y'all now have encompassed to where I think when most people even think of the UIL now, they think of Texas football.
Yeah, I mean, we have a great crew on staff, and it starts with great people who have a genuine love for high school football. None of us get into this to get rich.
Yeah.
I wish we'd be rich, but none of us got into this to be rich. We got into it because we love high school football, and you can't. And I think we want our passion to be reflected in our work, and I think you can't do this job unless you're passionate about it and really just love what you do. You combine that with, we do have some great people in our sales team that do a great job, because you got to have money to do things, right? And so our sales folks do a great job of behind the scenes. Nobody talks about them. They do a great job. Our operations folks do a great job of operating a lot of the things that we do. When we have a vision, we have to execute the vision. Our operations team helps us with that. And we've got a great CEO and owner in Mr. McLean, and obviously they're very successful business people. They know what it takes to be a successful business, and they give us the tools to be successful. So it's a great team effort.
And personally, I don't think people realize this isn't your only thing in life. You've worked full-time jobs while doing this. Also, you spend half your time in Canada. I mean, for you, it's always fun when you're in Canada because you're talking about some things like barbecuing and what they call barbecuing and stuff. But people don't. I think they think this is your full-time thing, and this is one of many things you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I have a full-time job outside in the corporate business world. Outside of this, football is kind of it's a passion, but it's a part-time passion. I wish I could do it full-time, but I got 3 daughters, and I got to put 3 daughters through college and all that good stuff. So right now it's just it's a part-time thing for me, but I treat it like a full-time job, and I give it the attention and love that I think a full-time job deserves.
What do you think the next big expansion for media, like in 5 years, where do you think Dave Campbell's is? Because we've talked about it here. The magazine sales are different now. I think comes a point where maybe, like you talked about, it's all through the website only, because it's a lot different to publish this now than even when you and I were publishing old coach stuff in 7 years and 8 years ago.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just with the UIL allowing online streaming, it's really expanded the options for that. And I think, the Texas, we envision Texas football tonight as our Texas Red Zone channel. Yeah. I think that's the next. We're hoping to get that executed and off the ground. And I think really it's just an expansion of broadcasting more and more games. And you got to have equipment, you got to have people to do it. But I think I'd like to see a point where maybe one day 100% of the games in Texas high school football have a web stream available and someone actually competent to broadcast the games. So that's my hope maybe in the near future.
And I think one of the biggest things that the Coach Association did was allowing the other sports to start coming and talking to football coaches. They've even admitted there was some grumbling back when that started happening, but I think it's helped explode the Texas Coaches Convention. It was already unique to even bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean, 10 years ago, it was really just a football convention. Yep. Now the THSCA has done a great job of reaching out, especially the girls' sports, getting them here. You see a lot of volleyball, girls basketball, girls track coaches here, and it's made the numbers really go up, and it's made the convention really this is the number one off-season event in all of Texas. This is a huge event. It gets bigger every year. It's a lot of fun to go to, and it kind of, for me, is the kickoff. I just got out of the UIL press conference, so this is like the kickoff to the 2023 school year and athletic year for us.
It really is, and when you look at the Big 12 and you look at somebody like Joey McGuire at Texas Tech, having that Texas high school coaching connection, I mean, he's out there in the lobby just talking with anybody that wants to talk to him and taking pictures and stuff, and that not only helps him at Texas Tech, but it helps the Texas high school coaches because they're seeing that goal of a Big 12 or a D1 college job.
Absolutely, it's attainable for these guys. Yes. I mean, you see Joey McGuire, you see Jeff Traylor, you see G.J. Kinney, who's been in the college game. He's a Texas high school product. Guys like that. Eric Morris, he's from Shallowater. Those guys have Lincoln Riley, from Muleshoe. Guys who have cut their teeth in Texas high school football have now, quote unquote, made it big, but they haven't forgotten their roots. They still come back here. They're still accessible, and they're still the same people. Like I said about Joey McGuire, when he was at Cedar Hill, I could pick up the phone and he would answer 8 out of 10 times if I call him. He still answers 8 out of 10 times, and he's a Power 5 head coach. Those guys haven't changed, and they're great people, and I think they're a real goal that's been met. And I think that they're guys who have really set the standard, and they're guys that now I can dream as a high school coach, and maybe if I want to make that step at some point, I can achieve that.
All right, man. Thank you.